Hi and welcome to pmzlounge.com. This is Lounge Fever, a series dedicated to answer your questions. Questions that you send us through comments on our social media or through email. All those questions are answered here. And today we are taking up a question that is related to WBS, our ongoing topic, the work breakdown structure. And the question is, how many times do I go back to WBS with changes? Now, this is related to some of our previous videos where we talked about how if there is a change in, let's say, a WBS dictionary item, right, you need to add an item that you have already forgot. By the way, if you're not able to follow this question, there will be a link in the description below that will lead you to the entire playlist of the WBS as well as scope management knowledge area and some of the frequently answered questions that we have taken up in our previous Lounge Fever series of scope management knowledge area. So the all the three playlists will be available in the description. If you want to learn more about WBS, feel free to do that. And then come back to this question. So the question is, if there are changes in the WBS dictionary, right? If there is an entry that you have forgotten in the WBS dictionary, you will have to go through change control and you'll need to make sure that you make that entry. Now, the question is, how many times does the project manager have to go back to the WBS, make the changes, come back to project work, and then realize that there is something that he has missed in the WBS dictionary? Go back, make that change, come back again. How many times is a project manager allowed to do that, or how many times is the project manager supposed to do that? The right answer to this question is that this isn't even a question. You have to go back as many times as possible, as many times as is required. Now, the thing is, even the best of the best planned project, right? If you have the best project plan ever, you have covered the minutest details of a project, even that project will have several surprises and you will realize that you had missed out on certain things, right? They may be related to the scope, they may be related to schedule, they may be related to the cost, right? And they might have corresponding WBS dictionary entries as well, right? So the best of the best planned project, they can also have several surprises and they will require you as a project manager to go back and make changes to the WBS, and you should be doing that as many times as it is required. The thing is, scope planning isn't a one shot process. In fact, it's iterative. Now, that's one thing which drives a lot of people crazy because they think we are following a waterfall model. They believe a PMP certified project manager working in a waterfall environment, following the PMBOK guide. That means once the scope planning is done, he won't come back to the scope planning process. That is wrong. In fact, scope planning is an iterative process. And why do I say so? Does this mean that you keep planning scope throughout the life of the project? The thing is, as and when something new is found out, right? As and when you discover something new about the project, as and when there is a change in the requirement, it goes to change control process. It goes through the entire change control process. And once it is approved, the scope statement, the work breakdown structure, and the WBS dictionary is updated. Remember, this point talks about a situation where all these three documents were already baseline. These three documents, by the way, is equal to the addition of these three. If you remember our formula, right, the addition of these three, the scope statement, the work breakdown structure, and the WBS dictionary, is equals to scope baseline. So if these three documents are baseline and then there is a change that you have discovered, which you most likely will, like the point number one of this slide say, that even the best of the best planned project will have certain things that they would have missed. So these three documents, those changes will go through the change control process and these three documents will be updated. So, like I said, this is an iterative process. As and when you find any changes, as and when you find any items that you missed during your planning, you go back to the planning the planning scope process, and you go back to the change control, you put that in the change control process, you put that change in the change control process, you get that approved, and you update all the three documents: scope statement, work breakdown structure, and WBS dictionary. Now you might wonder if this is something that requires a lot of time, but that's not the case. There are certain organizations out there that have automated and linked these three documents in such a beautiful fashion that if you make a change in the, let's say, in the work breakdown structure, it will automatically create WBS dictionary entries, right? So that is the level of automation that is available out there in the industry, right? So it is important to note that all these three documents, the scope baseline documents, which are again your scope statement, your work breakdown structure, and your WBS dictionary, these three documents are closely linked, and these are linked to ensure that they are always kept in sync, right? So as and when you discover something new in your project, as and when you realize you missed something during scope planning, you go back to the scope planning process, you file a change in the change control, and you get that change approved, and you update these three documents. So like I said earlier, this isn't even a question. You can go back to your WBS, you can make your changes as many times as it is necessary. So that's pretty much it that I had in this video. Do like, share, subscribe, and comment. We need your support. As you're already aware, PMP Lounge is now called PMC Lounge. Our new social media links are available on the slide right now: youtube.com/PMC Lounge, facebook.com/PMC Lounge, and twitter.com/PMC Lounge. And as always, do check out the website pmclounge.com, which is your number one free resource for PMP and other project management certifications, as well as project management industry information. Thank you.